This is Russell Fagan, aka Sinistral Rifleman, and this video is my match experience of CQB Brutality 2024 in Pistol Caliber Carbine Division. For this match, I'm using a Scorpion Evo 3 that's been registered as a short-barreled rifle. It has a 7.7-inch barrel with Midwest Industries handguard. It has the Reptilia Zukov stock adapter, Magpul grip, and Magpul mag release. I also have a Magpul vertical grip installed, as having a vertical grip or hand stop is very important when running such a short barrel. The lead and steel Pandora red dot is mounted using an Acro to Picatinny rail adapter, and it is 0 to 25 yards. I have it mounted all the way at the rear because it doesn't co-witness with the factory iron sights at the height it's at anyway, and having the red dot mounted all the way to the rear makes it faster to acquire from awkward positions. Those of you who know my primary employment is as director of KEArms might be wondering why I'm not shooting a KE9 or KP9 for this match. The reason for that is, the week this match was held, the first prototype of Sear technology triggers for the Scorpion was completed. Sear technology triggers first debuted in 2017 for the AR-15 platform. InRange TV selected the SLT-1 for the What Would Stoner Do program in 2017 because it had a number of unique features. Rather than using a traditional disconnector that the hammer is violently driven through as the bolt cycles rearward, the SLT triggers have a main sear that is in constant contact with the hammer, always ready to catch it as the bolt is cycling. This has several benefits, including that the fire control unit is more sealed, making it less susceptible to dirt and debris. The safety can also be applied regardless of hammer position, and these triggers are inherently more durable in blowback PCCs because the hammer is not being driven through a disconnector and the hammer does not impact any other part of the fire control group. The SLT2 arc blade trigger followed not long after the SLT1, and the Recluse RTS1 was released in 2021 with a heavier hammer spring intended to deal with hard primers and firing pin safety systems like those found on the MCX and HK416. Back to the present in 2024, the Scorpion is a gun that could definitely benefit from a better trigger. The factory trigger has a long reset and a trigger pull of at least 8 pounds. Compared to the prototype installed in this Scorpion here, you can see how much shorter the reset is, and the trigger pull is at 5 pounds. So Monday before the match, we installed the trigger, I zeroed the gun, and Wednesday I was driving up for staff setup on Thursday. If something is going to go wrong with new equipment, it will most certainly be at a Brutality match. Pro 2 Customs was able to get this double Kydex magazine pouch done for me on short notice for the Magpul 35-round magazines. Our rules that were in effect for this match for PCC Division required 33-round magazines or less, so I did have to download them by 2 rounds. And most importantly, I'm wearing my Retro Rifle Homeland shirt. Retro Rifle is a clothing company also based out of Arizona. The arms of the cactuses on this shirt are CZ Scorpions. I have in fact paid for every Retro Rifle shirt that I have. Just think the designs are really cool. So now we'll go through all 8 stages of CQB Brutality 2024 in the order that I shot them, and we'll see how the Scorpion with the new SLT trigger works out. Opening this door activates a vision barrier that drops out of the way of 2 steel that require 1 hit each, and then it goes back in the way so you can't engage them again. The round targets require 2 hits, and the big squares require 3 hits. Once all the targets are neutralized, drop the mag, fire 1 round out at a target. The gun is now confirmed clear, and the 180 does not apply until it is loaded again. Getting in the gator is going to drive over to the next bay. I cannot load the gun until I am past the load line. There's going to be 3 poppers that cannot be re-engaged after the gator drives past them. Everything else I can make up if I need to. Exit the gator, and there's a big array of steel that needs to be knocked down from this box. I'm going to sweep across and then proactively reload once I get to the spinner, so I start on the spinner with a full magazine. The controls of the Scorpion are very similar to an MP5, so I default to running it like that, where I lock the bolt back, insert the new magazine, then drop the bolt. I am second out of 30 PCC shooters on this stage, and only one of 2 that did not get any penalties. From the first position, the shooter has to knock down all the yellow steel, Once those targets are neutralized, pick up the sandbag and carry it forward and drop it in the barrel. Over to the green box to knock down all the green steel. It's always cool when you have steel still falling as you're engaging the last target. Carry the kettlebell over to the barrel and drop it in. From the blue box, knock down all the blue steel. I conduct a reload on the way over here so I don't shoot empty. Final kettlebell into the barrel. Then it's going to be time to pull the stratagem card from the ammo can here, which will give me the arrow directions representing the targets I need to engage. In modern divisions, we have to make a total of 8 hits, so I chunk it into groups of 4. I am first out of 30 PCC shooters on this stage. On this stage, the shooter has to make 10 overhead hammer swing hits on this tire before picking up their firearm off the table. Move forward to the shooting box. In modern divisions, we have to hit each one of the Know Your Limits plate rack and then get 2 hits on the big static square. Now the same process with poppers. Knock a popper down, then 2 hits on the big static square. Drop the mag out to get the hit on the high value target. Now the gun is clear and the 180 does not apply until it's loaded again. In this area, I'm going to ground the PCC, then do 10 more hits on the tire before picking it back up. Here I have 5 poppers. I got to knock one down, then get 2 hits on the round target. This process will repeat until all 5 poppers are down and there are 10 hits total on the round target. Now from on top of the tire, holding the hammer in one hand, I can take as many shots as I need to get 1 hit on the stop plate. I am first out of 30 shooters in PCC division on this stage. The first engagement sequence here is from on top of the horse prop, 1 hit on the circles, 3 hits on the squares, and the final shot will be after removing the magazine at the center circle target. Safely dismount the horse, and now those same targets are going to be engaged from 4 other positions. From these positions, the engagement sequence doesn't matter. It's just 1 hit on the circles, 3 hits on the big squares. You can see how dusty of an environment it is when you're shooting from the ground here in particular, but this dust coated everything at the range, particularly when the wind kicked up. It's very important to keep your magazines clean and your ejection port covers closed if you had them. Of course, on the Scorpion, it doesn't have an ejection port cover, but I did pay attention to it to make sure that there wasn't a lot of debris going into it. Do a reload on the move to the final position. I don't want to have to reload from prone. I am second out of 30 shooters in PCC division on this stage. The shooter has 7 seconds to knock down the blue targets here for 5-second bonuses. After that time has elapsed or they've shot all the targets, they got to drop the mag and engage the red high-value target. I now have to crawl through the tunnel here. You can see that I am canting the gun up so the ejection port is not towards the ground. It might be a little bit harder for right-handed shooters to do, but that's what I recommend when you're crawling through tunnels with these things. From between these barrels from 3 different positions, I got to get 2 hits on 3 round targets. And the barrels do get narrower the lower to the ground you get. It's important to keep the gun oriented straight up and down. If you start to cant, it's real easy to have a clear sight picture, but not have your muzzle clear of the barrel. So even I shoot the barrel here a couple times when I'm canting the gun too much. Two spinners are coming up here, so I reload to have a full 33 plus 1 rounds before I begin engaging them. With this many rounds on tap and the spinners this close, I engage both of them at the same time, alternating, so I don't waste time waiting for target presentations. I am second out of 30 shooters in PCC division on this stage. At the buzzer, flip over the card that determines the color of the no-shoots on this stage. Begin by engaging the infinity target with 3 shots. Have to move the sandbag representing the bags of cash. This is a casino scenario after all. And because the card I flipped over was the black, I'm going to engage the red targets. The shooter has to keep moving the sandbags between every iteration of targets. Hitting the wrong colored targets is a plus 30-second penalty here, so you really want to make sure that you do not pull a shot shooting between these plates.
Red ones, 2 hits each. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Sandbag.
Final target here is a hostage rescue shot at 50 yards. Missing and hitting the no-shoot is a plus 60-second penalty if you do it.
Got it.
I am 6th out of 30 shooters in PCC division on this stage. This stage begins with the shooter running from downrange to the bleeding dummy prop and applying a tourniquet that is on the dummy. You've seen the video about the tourniquet on the channel here before. For the purposes of our stage prop here, pull the tourniquet out, make sure it's fully deployed, cinch down the Velcro as hard as you can before beginning to twist the windlass. Once you've begun twisting the windlass, do so until you see the flow of fluid stop. Long gun started stage condition 3 up against the barrel here. I have to make 2 hits on the hostile target off my left shoulder from the left side and 2 hits from the right side from my right shoulder. To minimize switching shoulders back and forth, whenever I leave a barricade, I'm going to use that shoulder first when I get to the next barricade. Each no-shoot hit is a plus 60-second penalty, so you do not want to miss. Then the final position is between the back of the chair here. I'm 1st out of 30 shooters in PCC division on this stage. This is the Area 51 inspired stage. I have to carry the power-up brick from barrel to barrel. Shooting down the red target represents blowing up a dynamite barrel in the game, and all the shoot targets around it are neutralized. If you miss that shot, you have to engage all the targets. Blue targets are no-shoots, and the white targets with the green alien blood on them are the shoot targets. Coming up after this engagement, though, are going to be 2 small circles for the dynamite barrels behind an armored barricade, and I do not know my bore offset that well with this gun because it's brand new to me, so missing that there, I have to then shoot down the 4 poppers off to that side, engage the other one, miss it, so I have to shoot down the other 4 poppers on the other side. I am 6th out of 30 shooters in PCC division on this stage. In the final results, I'm 1st out of 30 shooters in PCC division. Overall, I'm 2nd out of 133 shooters. Having 0 malfunctions, shooting clean with no penalties, and getting a division win with a new prototype product is a pretty good feeling. Here's some photos of the trigger after the match and approximately 600 rounds fired. No excessive wear on anything, and no real buildup of debris at any point. We've decided to name this trigger the Emperor Scorpion STC-1 for Scorpion Trigger Cassette 1. A select group of InRange patrons were chosen as beta testers for the Emperor Scorpion triggers, and we anticipate going into production with these based upon their feedback in the next 2 months. Thank you to Carl for hosting this video on his channel to get more eyes on it. Working together, we can build a better, more positive shooting community, better ourselves through the crucible of competition, and produce better products working with customers using them in these environments to give them the products they need to succeed. Thank you for watching. Please consider supporting InRange TV on Patreon, and always remember, the Second Amendment is for everyone.